Welcome to the Brett Davis Podcast.
Well, hello, everybody. It's very nice to see you. I guess I can't see you, but I feel like I can see you. This is, of course, Brett Davis coming to you from Coronado, California at the IQ Podcast Studio, Attorney King Studio, actually. Thank you to my sponsors, Attorney King, for your support and friendship, and I look forward to doing that amazing Teachers Academia Awards, we should call it the Educator Awards, actually, Sarah, coming up in September, sometime in that period of time. And of course, IB Fitness and CEO, Murrieta Teal, the female Joe Rogan, has more F words than the Webster Dictionary. And of course, Tim Aaron, Nikki Rottens, who's been a great supporter and friend since the very beginning. Thank you so much, Tim, for everything you do. And last but not least, Saquon Casino and Resort, who's a very good friend and a very good sponsor of everything we do. And they have a great facility, great food, great atmosphere. I highly recommend Saquon Casino and Resort in East County. And thank you, Cody Martinez, for being the best chairman ever. I can say that without a doubt because he's always there for the community. He cares. So I'm very honored today to have Hall of Fame. You are a legend, by the way. When you get to be a certain age, they start stamping legend because there's no other things you can do at that point in your life. So
it's over.
It's over. So
everything's
legend.
over.
It's over.
I got nothing else to live for now.
Coach Ray Anderson, how you doing?
I'm doing fine, thank you.
So I appreciate you coming to the studio. I mean, you made a long trek to get here today, and we had a nice meeting talking about some potential events that involve powerlifting and strength sports.
Mm-hmm.
So how did you get into powerlifting?
Well, I actually got into strength sports at the age of 9.
Wow.
I was 9 years old. I was that skinny kid.
You were the Charles Atlas, but powerlifter.
Yeah. In fact, I sent in for his stuff. I couldn't wait for his envelope to show up at the house, But everybody my friends were bigger, stronger, faster than me. I was the last one picked for anything we did. And I had a cousin that was into lifting, and his physique was really, really well built. And during the summer, I would spend weekends or weeks there to like a getaway vacation, to my aunt and uncles. And he had weights and stuff like that. He got me started with ankle weights. He saw me watching him. He goes, "Here, try these." Well, I was hooked. As soon as I had those on, I felt that how it was. I go, "Wow, I like this." So I kept bugging my parents forever to get me a weight set at 9 years old. And they're like, "Why don't you want a bike? Don't you want a toy or something?" I said, "No, I want weights." I bugged them and bugged them and bugged them. So finally, at 10 years old, I got my first set from Sears Roebuck. It was a plastic coated ones with the.
I had the same one with
gold.
Mine were blue.
Mine were gold. I had gold. That was beautiful. I wore the hell out of those things, and I just kept adding on to them. I had an uncle that had some old York plates, and he said, "Hey, my kids aren't using these anymore. It seems like you're interested in it, so why don't you take them over?" So I did, and I kept expanding on my end with equipment, and then in sports. I wasn't very big in high school. I was like 99 pounds as a freshman.
What?
Yeah. No one taught me how to train or eat. I just thought more is better, and I just went crazy at it. And when I graduated high school, I was only 150 pounds.
Usually there's a reason why, of course, we were attracted to the whole Charles Atlas thing because I got the same program. Was there something about looking like a superhero come to your mind at all, and the way they looked in the comics?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't that so much as I didn't want to be weak anymore. I wanted to be stronger.
You got sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, I was like, that's enough. Internally, I was like the big guy. But externally, you couldn't see it.
Sure.
So I got through in high school, and then I got actually more interested in actually lifting competitively once I got to college. I had a weightlifting instructor. It was an elective I took, and he got me hooked. He trained me. He said, "Here's how you eat. Here's how you lift." And I was just hooked on that. So I started competing. I went from like 150 to 185 in the first year of college.
So you bulked up.
Yeah, I learned how to eat right. And train.
So how does one go from, what was the weight that you started at, 150 in college?
Yeah.
And then what did you end up going to?
185 my first year. And I didn't do any steroids, nothing like that. It was all natural. I ate everything in sight. I drank a gallon of milk a day. And
What kind of let's go over the eating plan for a power lifter and also the type of workout plan you used during college.
Well, I was just doing the basic lifts. I was doing squat, bench, and deadlifts.
And that's all you really need.
That's all you needed. And I just lifted, like 4 times a week. I did this my own lifting at home.
Because that was real popular in the day.
Oh yeah, it was.
There was some champions that were made in garages.
Oh yeah, lot of garage gyms, a lot of garage gyms. In fact, the high schools weren't well equipped like they are today. Today, you go to a high school gym or a college gym, it's just phenomenal. It's beautiful, but mostly it was weights that some kid's dad had or brother had, and that's where you hang out and lift. That was it.
I love free weights.
Yeah, I mean, nothing's going to ever change. Any machine that comes along will never replace a free weight. Never.
I just do. I love it. I love the feel of it,
the feel of it,
the look of it,
yeah.
kind of cold steel, kind of like brick.
Yeah.
Nothing pretty. Just it is what it is.
It's what it is. Either you lift it or you don't lift it. There's no gray area. I really got focused on it for competing. I loved lifting heavy things, whether it's an object, it didn't matter. No, not just weights, but anything out in the field somewhere, a big boulder or a tree stump or something, I would want to pick it up and lift it. And I was just hooked on lifting heavy things. And I started competing in powerlifting, and I did pretty well with that. And I went to weightlifting. I did well.
So what's for the what's going on? One thing before we go on to that. So tell me about your nutrition. What you did for nutrition? Because we talked about what you did, the basic lifts. What did you eat during the day?
Oh God, so let's put it this way. I went from the 150 to 185. Then I kept jumping up to 225, 235. I eventually got my body weight up to 275 within about 10 years.
I can't see that on your frame. You must have been like a block. I'm
6'1", and
that's a lot of weight.
A lot of weight, but I ate like I was always hungry. Like I said, a gallon of milk a day. I could sit and eat 1 to 2 whole chickens at dinner. In fact, I had an egg farmer from Indiana. Like I'm from Chicago. They came. He brought 30 dozen eggs every 2 weeks to my house. 30 dozen, and I would eat anywhere.
Why did you just get your own chicken?
Well, I had no time to raise them.
I mean, that would have been the ideal. You should have been on a farm.
Yeah,
right.
Really,
that would have been the way to do it, right?
Oh, in fact, the guy was like, well, "How many people in your family have eating all these eggs?" I said, "No, just me." He goes, "What? I would eat anywhere from 12 to 36 egg whites a day. I make omelets and that,
What about the yolks?
I threw them away.
So you just wanted that pure protein, no fat?
Yeah. And my neighbor lady, the older lady at the time, she was baking a lot. And she was over at the house one day and she goes, "Hey, what do you do with your yolks?" I said, "I throw them away." She will save them for me. I bake. So I saved her the yolks. But I bought myself my own 15 cubic foot deep freezer. And I would store whole chickens in it. I'd go to the grocery stores when they had limits of 4 per person. So me and my buddies would all go and I'd load up, 16, 20 chickens in there, and I had an indoor rotisserie and I would put 2 at a time. And
I'm getting hungry hearing this.
I had an appetite.
You're making me hungry.
I had an appetite. I mean, I could not get enough food in me because the way I was training heavy made me really hungry.
Did you eat fruits and vegetables? I mean, I hear about protein.
Oh yeah, I did. I did.
You had your bananas, your apples.
I had a whole bowl of rice. I had a whole big plate full of like 3 plates when I ate dinner. The protein had its own plate, vegetables, and then.
And how many times a day were you eating?
6.
Wow.
So what I didn't have with me, I had it in a big cooler. I ate all day long, and when I ran out of food, I'd stop at a restaurant and buy more.
Well, you're becoming very popular in the neighborhood, and once you go into the chicken,
they all run.
The butcher runs, or he says he knows you by name.
Yeah,
and then you end up going to the produce, and everybody knows you by name there. And even when you're walking down the street, the milkman knows your name.
They know. Yeah,
everybody knows your name. You're a very popular guy.
Well, back then it was basic eating. Foods was just basic eating. You didn't have all these supplements they have today. They had a couple things here and there. But
so what year was this around?
This was back in 74 through 83, 80.
Those are some good classic years for powerlifting and bodybuilding.
All of it, all the lists. And then Strongman came around, like in early 80s, like Bill Kazmar and guys like that.
I met him a few times. Nice guy.
Yeah, that guy. A lot of Strongman guys are just phenomenal. Even today, with the new generation coming up, super guys. And I just got hooked on anything that was heavy to lift. And then I got into bodybuilding because somebody dared me. Because now I'm 275, lifting heavy, and my gym buddies were saying, you won't go on stage and wear a pair of Speedos and get all,
Oiled up.
yeah. So they dared me. So once you dare me, it's like, okay, I'm gonna have to do this. So I did.
And you did well.
I drove 400 miles to my first meet down in Southern Illinois. It was a Mr. Southern Illinois competition, and I took last. I was wiped down most because I was sweating so much.
You know what? I took last in my first show.
I mean, I was just going for experience.
Right.
Somebody dared me, right?
But I think that's how you become better.
Oh yeah.
You have to start somewhere, right?
But I got hooked though. I thought, okay, this is the one and done. I'm done. I did the dare. That's going to be it. I got on stage, and all of a sudden, said, you know what? I could do this. I can continue with this, going at it. So, I got hooked. I went back to the gym, started focusing on training for bodybuilding, and did it for a good 10 years. Did some good stuff in between there back in Chicago, and qualified 1 year. I took third in the Midwest Open Bodybuilding Championships, and that qualified me to go to Mr. America.
Which is a very popular event
back
still.
then, yeah.
But even now, it's come back.
It's come back now. But back then, that was a big deal. But at the time, I kind of got talked out of going.
Okay.
They
because of the enhancements that were used.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't realize what was going on. I was kind of naive.
So this wasn't a drug tested event. It was anything goes.
Anything goes. At that time, they didn't touch at all. But I was kind of naive, going and do it. And I was about 2.25 ripped at the time. And a friend of mine said, "What's your next show?" And I said, "I go to America. It's in Florida." He said to me, he says, "You got 25 grand?" And I'm like, "What do you mean?"
I've heard numbers like that before, by the way.
That's back then. Now it's way
yeah,
more.
But I've heard people say it's going to take me 50,000 or 100,000 to get ready for this show.
Yeah. So I go,
I've heard that.
Airfare, hotel.
Not on my dime.
I couldn't believe the cost. I go, what? And it dawned on me. He says, "You're at 225, but you're going to go against some monsters that are 250 plus, and they're going to be shredded like you. You're not going to place." So he kind of taught me how to go on, which I should have not listened to him and gone ahead and did it, just to say I got on stage and competed against.
Sure.
But anyway, then I went back to strength stuff. I said, no, I'm going back to the strength.
Who was during that period of time in bodybuilding in that arena, the America area? Who were the top?
Oh, back what got me really interested in doing it was Sergio Oliva.
Okay. He was also a powerlifter.
Oh yeah. And a weightlifter.
Right.
He was a weightlifter first.
Great athlete.
From Cuba, yeah.
And he was also Chicago cop.
Chicago cop. Very strong. Met him a few times. In fact, he was at one of my second or third was the Mr. Chicagoland. Him and some of my family, some coworkers I had from a long time ago, and he showed up to see it. And he saw me.
What an honor, huh?
Yeah, he saw me, back in the hallway, he looked at me, he goes, "You're ready, huh?" I had my warm-ups on, so you couldn't tell, but he saw by my face how it was pretty well chiseled up, and he goes, so it was nice to know that he was there and a bunch of the other people, that were there for that competition. But
why do you think that powerlifting is definitely different than weightlifting, and powerlifting and weightlifting is different in bodybuilding, but do you think there's a sense of difference nowadays compared to what there was back then?
Yeah.
And by the way, I like powerlifting. I like bodybuilding. I like it all.
Oh yeah, I like all of it. I did all of it myself. I did all the strongman and weightlifting and powerlifting and bodybuilding. I love it all. It's just that it seems back when I did it, there was more guys competing regularly for competitions as compared to today. Today, a lot of younger guys are like one and done kind of thing. They all want to go to nationals. They all want to go to worlds right away, and they want to be a record breaker right away, versus get in the sport, put your time in, develop your strength, but a lot of guys won't compete unless they're at that world level. They don't,
sure.
Our numbers aren't that great. I said, well, you got to get in somehow. You got to start somewhere.
Somebody had once said that 70% of success is just showing up.
Oh yeah.
Because you never know who's going to be there.
I mean, you can see today, the big thing with social media is everybody's got the selfies going on in the gym, and it's like a daily thing. You see everybody showing off what they did. I give a rat's ass what you're doing every day. Get on the platform, get on stage, now show me.
Yeah, because all that other stuff doesn't matter when it comes down to it.
When you go to the gym and say, I'm lifting I'm I'm benching, 315, 405. I said, is that gym numbers or competition numbers? And they look at you like, what do you mean? Well, in the gym, you're just bouncing and touch and go and wiggling and arching like crazy. In a competition, you have to pause and then lift it. But most of them won't go in because it's going to affect their ego and they can't do it that way. Their numbers are going to go down, So weightlifting, there's a lot of speed, strength, technique involved to do that one.
Were the athletes using more of those types of things back then more than they are now?
Using
more powerlifting, more weightlifting. Were they doing it more back in the 70s than they are now? They're not using it as much
as far as
compared to what they did. The football player or the strength athlete of today, how much has their training changed?
Well, it's changed. They don't, like most of them, they'll do lifts over the head, like weightlifting. They'll do power clean, hang clean, stuff like that. They won't do anything over the head. So
concerned that maybe they'll rotate safety rotator cuff injuries.
It depends who's your coach, who's training you. They don't know what they're doing. Yeah, don't do it. But if you know what you're doing, it's going to benefit you more.
A good coach knows when to step in and say, you're doing that wrong. You need to stop before you, progress. You need to try to let's go lighter and work on the form, and then we'll see how you do on the next step.
My philosophy is how fast, how much. The amount of weight you lift should be a third factor. Learn your technique the right way. Do it very, very well, explosively, and then the weight will come.
So you're in the Hall of Fame.
AAU Strength Sports Hall of Fame. Yeah.
How did that happen? I know how it happened, but tell us how that all. Did you get a phone call, a letter in the mail? How did that all?
Every year they have nominations for people that have been in the sport for a while, and it's not just what you did in the sport; it's what you're doing outside of it. Besides, so I was a regional director for feature strength, helping out with the meets and stuff. Then I went to an assistant national chairman, and then it's the national chairman for feature strength. So all the work I've been putting in and the meets and the teams I've developed that came in to compete, plus my body of work I did over the years, that got me in.
How important is it right now, coming after a pandemic like we've gone through, for kids in general to get some type of sport or hobby going?
Oh, man, it's so important. This pandemic, locking them up for 2 years, not doing anything, keeping them away from any physical activity, which is bad for your immune system. You got to be active, And right now, they should be lifting. That's going to help them so much mentally, physically, emotionally. It's very empowering. It gives them confidence, builds up their confidence by just, they don't, even if they don't compete, they're going to see the physical change and like, hey, I got stronger. I feel better about themselves. They'll carry themselves better.
Well, I think it also affects adrenaline. It affects, your hormone levels, men and women. I think that there's been, we've seen the studies with the pandemic. I'm surprised. Well, we saw more people buying equipment to train at home because they couldn't go to the gyms.
Right.
So that probably had one of the biggest surge in home gyms, probably. And hopefully people have stayed with that.
Yeah.
Because a home gym could be very valuable.
Oh, well, you can't have time to go to the gym. You got it at home, do it at home.
Right.
There should be no excuse.
Well, what I found is excuses are for people that feel bad about their failures.
Yeah, but there's a thing about people say, well, you have to have commitment, or I said, no, you have to have conviction. And they go, conviction? I said, yeah, conviction is the deepest this burning desire to accomplish anything. That means that it's so deep that it doesn't matter what it is.
You're going to do it no matter what's going on in your life.
That's right.
You got to find a way to get there.
That's conviction. It means you're staying with it and you're going to see results. With conviction, you'll see results. There's no excuses with conviction. None. So that's my word, conviction.
So has conviction been lost a little bit?
Oh, yeah, a lot. People are looking at the easy way out. They don't want to do the hard work. Oh, it takes too much time. How long is it? Oh, I don't want to spend that much time to train to go to a competition. I want it now.
Does everybody feel in this generation, you think, that they deserve a trophy?
Yeah, they all want the world record before they can compete. They don't want to get into it unless they had the big numbers,
So if somebody in our day, it was first, second, third. Was there a fourth in powerlifting?
No.
What was it?
first, second, third.
Right, that was it. Anybody else didn't get anything.
I mean, go home, work harder, and then, come back next time. I mean, that's how it is. I mean, to get a trophy for just participation is ridiculous,
So what kind of condition do you think that makes kids become? What situations once you've been conditioned that way as adults?
Oh, you expect everything to come to you just because. That goes with promotions at a job, relationships, different things like that. You expect it. Oh, I want it, so I should get it because I want it. You didn't earn it, but you feel you should get it because you desire it. You want it. Did you work for it? No, but I want it. That's their mindset right now.
So do you think that's created more of a weaker type mentality of,
Yes,
where it's affected maybe the psychological aspect of people?
Oh yeah, and that's been the last 2 years. It's spread to all generations. I think people are looking at that. They just kind of gave up instead of having that fight. They just quit. Which was
Well, I think that I'm glad that you came here today, and I look forward to doing more of these types of talks with you because you didn't have an easy life, and
No.
the iron game probably saved you, right?
Oh, that's I was going to mention that. It actually saved my life.
How did it save your life?
Well, my dad was a real major alcoholic, and he did beat my mom up quite a bit, and those kind of things. And it really got to me as a young kid to watch that. I'm like, no, I just I could have gone the other way. It could have been dead or in jail, just by the atmosphere. But my mom, she's the one that really raised my brother and myself. But it was kind of hard for me. But actually lifting weights was my sanctuary. It is to this day. I do a thing. It's called like a mind meld. I grab the bar every day. I go to the gym. I grab it. I make that connection because that did something for me as a young kid.
It did, and we need more of that right now, I think.
Oh yeah, a lot of people, and when they had this pandemic thing and shutting gyms down and not going to the beach, not going to the hair salon, not going to the movies, anything that made you feel good, they shut it down. I'm like, well, this is ridiculous. They trapped you into being like a prisoner, and then people were just depressed and suicidal and.
We don't really know the numbers of how many people were affected with depression, do we?
No, we don't.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
A lot.
More than probably people died.
And
am I right?
And more people that had it never thought they would have depression. They got it through this pandemic.
We got a gentleman that's on right now that's somewhat he just competed in the Mr. Olympia actually.
Oh.
Josh Self, who we met recently back in Ohio not too long ago at an event. He's a phenomenal trainer, believes in a lot of the types of things I think we do, and he's kind of an old school trainer. But Joshua, it's nice to see your name on there, and we'll have to be talking soon. And thank you for your support, and thank you for what you're doing with your clients also, by the way. We appreciate you taking your time, Ray, to be here today.
I'm glad to have you.
And I look forward to working with you and seeing how we can reach out to some of these, not just kids, but even adults, because adults can do this too, can't they?
Oh yeah, and it's ageless. The sport of lifting is ageless.
How does an older athlete that's never done any type of powerlifting or training, how do they get into this without hurting themselves?
Well, find a reliable coach that knows what he's doing, has some experience on it. There's a lot of wannabes out there, and today it seems like everybody's an expert at nothing. They all know the answers, and you say, how much experience you have, how many people have you trained, and what's your background and what you've done with people. Most of them have done nothing, but they're going to be the new guru. Anybody that says they're the guru, run. Don't walk, just run away, because they really don't know as much as you think they do. But find someone that knows what they're doing, a good coach, and then learn the technique first, and then
good organization.
Yeah,
like the AAU.
Yeah, we're a drug-free organization. We have all age groups from like 5-6-year-olds up to people in their 90s competing.
Well, we've got a mutual friend who's somebody that's been impacted in my life, has been like a brother and a father. It's all rolled into one. Martin Drake.
Oh yeah, great guy.
He was a no nonsense.
Yep.
He puts it out the way it is. He's a great inspiration himself. Mm-hmm. Great leader, very highly, very smart guy. Just He's done so much for the AAU.
Oh man, he spent 35 years building his program up. He's done, and if it wasn't for him, the strength sports wouldn't be where it's at right now.
Well, I think it's time to do it again, and we need to get it back out to the masses. So I appreciate you being here, and look forward to doing this with you and getting that out to the masses and the kids, and seeing if we can put this event together on May 7th in Coronado, which you'll be hearing more about, everybody. We need to get the location situated, and once we do, gentleman's going to come here and he's going to set up everything, and we're going to see if we can reach out to the kids of San Diego and get them working out and doing the right thing.
Yeah,
I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
I look forward to hearing where your favorite places in Chicago are to eat. So when Sarah and I go there, we know where to go. I'm sure you can hook us up.
There's not a bad restaurant out there. They're all good.
Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Ray Anderson, a legend, Hall of Fame powerlifting bodybuilder, good overall guy, great coach, and I'll be looking forward to working with you next week myself.
I'm looking forward to it. Yeah.
I look forward to being a good student, listening to you.
That's a big plus.
Appreciate it. Everybody take care. Enjoy your family. Remember, be nice to each other. And you know what? Let's start challenging ourselves to be healthier and better. Let's go back to the basics and let's take care of our health. Do the right thing and find some activity to keep yourself busy. Don't get stuck thinking about a lot of stuff. Get out there, run, move around, work out, do some weights, whatever it is, martial arts, yoga. Get out there and start moving around. Somebody once told me nutrition and exercise were the best antidepressants.
It is. There's not a drug out there that can replace that.
And I believe that too.
Yeah.
Everybody take care, and remember, be nice to each other, and yippee-ki-yay.